On the 29th of March 2019, when the clock strikes 11, Britain will officially leave the European Union. It will be a historic moment. No country has ever left the EU before.
The mess caused by Brexit is the biggest problem in the history of EU-UK relations.
What is that supposed to mean?
Money!
Now I hate you, you
I hate
bastard!
you. If you leave here, I hate you.
But is Brexit still definitely going to happen? Even asking this question is controversial. I can see you heading for the comment section. But hold on.
52% for leave, 48% for remain.
Although the referendum in 2016 was close, more British people voted for Brexit than have voted for anything else ever.
17,410,742.
But it was also the first time in British history that voters chose something that did not have majority support in Parliament. Now there's a growing campaign focused on keeping Britain in the EU by any means necessary.
The referendum result, I'll compare it to a football match. There was a dodgy referee, the opposition had one extra player and the goal was scored in the 96 minutes. It was based on lies.
Britain may have triggered Article 50 and begun the exit process under EU law, but overturning Brexit is still theoretically possible.
Our Article 50 letter could be withdrawn without cost or difficulty, legal or political.
The EU, for all its technical legal language, is a deeply political organisation.
It's getting very, very well organised.
If both sides, Britain and the EU, agreed to stop Brexit, they would find a way to do it. That is a very big if. So let's look at the options. It boils down to three main scenarios. First up, the politicians stop Brexit by themselves.
It's important to remember that Parliament by itself has the legal authority to overturn the referendum. The referendum was advisory.
The ayes to the right.
For Brexit to take effect, a majority of members of Parliament have to allow it through. If enough MPs decided to cancel Brexit, in theory at least they could do so, but it would mean Parliament overturning the result of a democratic referendum. It would almost certainly provoke a massive backlash.
I fear that the great Brexit betrayal has begun.
But politicians overturning referendums isn't unheard of in Europe. As recently as 2015, Greek voters said no to an EU bailout that came with major austerity clauses. In the end, though, Greek MPs ignored their voters and overturned the referendum result to keep Greece in the Eurozone.
Parliament is sovereign. If MPs so chose, they could just vote to annul the referendum and to remain in the European Union. That, of course, isn't going to happen, I don't think, because it's a very bad look.
Don't you take the easy way out.
What easy way? There is no easy way. No matter what I do, somebody gets hurt.
So what about something a little easier to imagine?
Is there a case for a second referendum? Undoubtedly there is.
You're joking. Not another one?
You've probably heard a lot of talk about a possible second referendum, and the EU has a rich history of rerunning referendums.
They've just thrown a massive spanner into the mechanism that decides how the European Union will be run.
Ireland voted to reject the EU's Lisbon Treaty in 2008. Irish voters were then asked to vote again in the face of an economic crisis.
Is this some kind of a déjà vu?
The second time round, they voted the opposite way.
594,606.
A second referendum is still pretty unlikely. Parliament would have to agree to it for a start, and so it would come down to those MPs again, and time is running out fast.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
There is also the question of what a second referendum would ask. Leave versus remain again? Or a three-way choice between a deal, no deal, and no Brexit? With the proviso that the EU will have a lot to say about what it wants.
If the idea is to get a clear answer, I don't know if that is going to be possible with three options, because it might actually complicate things even more if the numbers are too close. The government is allowed to ask the same question again, but in this case, for the public, they need to accept that there's a new ground to vote on, a new question to vote on, and they're not simply being asked to change their answer.
God damn it, what do you want?
Conservatives in government and Labour in opposition are committed to carrying out Brexit. And for now, they're both against holding a new referendum.
We're not asking for a second referendum.
But politicians are highly attuned to the public mood. If enough of them detected a clear majority calling for a new referendum, the idea might just gain momentum.
There's been a slight shift in public opinion, with more people now thinking voting to leave was the wrong decision than the right decision, but it's slight and there's no real evidence of people switching in large numbers from leave to remain at the moment, i.e. very few people seem to have changed their minds.
With Parliament split on the best way to deliver Brexit, a new referendum could help break the deadlock and even reverse the original result.
Just don't get out! No, just wait a minute. We're not really breaking up, are we? Come on.
Finally, there's the scenario that most worries Brexiteers. Beano. No, not the Beano, although Jacob Rees-Mogg has been compared to Walter the Softie. Brexit in name only. This is the theory that Brexit will be delayed or watered down so much that what Britain ends up with is barely any different to what came before.
So within the Conservative Party in particular, there is this argument about Brexit having to be done properly rather than in a sort of compromise way that Theresa May seems to be suggesting now.
Could the Prime Minister inform the House at what point it was decided that Brexit means remain?
So, no independent trade deals, no restrictions on immigration, no real reduction in the amount Britain pays into the EU. The Prime Minister has promised this won't happen, over and over again.
Brexit means Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit.
Brexit. Brexit. Brexit means Brexit.
But as Brexit Day approaches, Britain's new relationship with the EU seems as undecided as ever. Brexit might not be possible to stop, but one thing is certain: the EU will continue to loom large over British politics.
I have to go.
Thanks for watching. Leave your comments below and subscribe if you want to watch more in this series.